Hi! Within this lecture, we're going to see how to discover a vulnerability called code execution vulnerability and ways to exploit that vulnerability. And we're going to use Metasploitable 2 again in order to test and practice this. And later on, we're going to see some other basic vulnerabilities as well. And starting from the next section, we're going to move on to more advanced vulnerabilities in web pen testing subject. But for right now, we're going to work with DVWA, so you better start your Metasploitable 2 and your Kali Linux, of course on the same NAT network. And you can reach your Metasploitable 2 dashboard with going to your Firefox and writing the IP address of Metasploitable 2 like we did before. So if you do that, it will take you through the dashboard of Metasploitable 2 where you can reach the DVWA and Matildae. And we're going to work with both Matildae and DVWA throughout the web pen testing sections, but for right now, I'm going to show you the basic vulnerabilities in DVWA. Previously, we took a look to the Matildae as well, maybe you remember, and if you click on here, it will open a web page, but later we will come to here. But right now I'm going into the DVWA, and if it asks for a username and password, username is admin and password is password. So this is a website, and suppose this website has some different sections, different menus, okay? In the left hand side, we see some menus. And remember, we have to configure this DVWA security to be low. So right now I'm in my website, and suppose I'm trying to find a vulnerability in this website. What do? First I start browsing, okay? So in here I don't have anything, but in the left hand side I have a menu. In fact, DVWA has a menu and it has some different categories for different vulnerabilities. For example, if I click on file inclusion, it will take me to a page where it has the vulnerability of file inclusion. But suppose that you're browsing a website in here and you clicked on a link which is called command execution, and it took you to a page where you can ping any website for free. So what does it mean? It means that it will run a command on the server pinging to an IP address or web page that you want. For example, we can try to ping 10.02.15. And remember, 10.02.15 is my Kali Linux IP. Of course, I can try to ping google.com as well, and it will display the result back to me. So this is a service by a web page, and we are trying to find a vulnerability within this web page. So when I see something like this, when I see an input which is running a command, I think of this. So let me open my terminal and show you what I mean. When I run a command in my terminal, I write it like this, right? Ping google.com, and it runs this command and it displays the result back to me. And it is the same thing. So a hacker will think that, can I run other commands rather than pinging the target IP, for example an ls command? Maybe it is possible. Let us try. In order to run a multiple command in a same line, we can use a semicolon and then write the other command in here. So if I submit, as you can see, other than the ping result, now I have the ls result in here as well. So I can run any command that I want through this input box in here, and it will be executed on the web server. And it is not being executed on Kali Linux. It's being executed on Metasploitable machine. So if it was a real web page, it would be executed on the web server. So what can we do is to run a command that can create a shell from the web server to our Kali Linux machine, and we can easily hack into that machine. And we can easily see the content of the files. We can easily run some other commands from this input box as well. However, since we are at it, I believe we should learn how to open a connection back from the web server and hack into that web server. And this is a technique that you will be doing a lot when you're pen testing in a real life example, if you're dealing with systems, if you're dealing with websites. So I'm going to do that in a separate lecture. We're going to stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to focus on shellcodes giving us sessions back from the web server.